Hey students, it's Emily Poole. Let's talk about topic 5.1, which is contextualizing 18th century states. And because this is our intro video to a new unit, what I would love to do is really focus on the learning objective present here, which is explain the context in which European states experienced crisis and conflict from 1648 to 1815. And I want to break this down for you, looking at three specific themes. Number one is political, hello French Revolution. Number two is cultural and intellectual conflicts, because, the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment had just happened. And of course, we got to talk about economic conflicts. Let's do this. Let's start out with that political theme. We know that the Enlightenment started to foment new ideas in European society, and that is going to radically alter political makeup of Europe, starting with the French Revolution. For its history, kind of forever, in Europe, you had the aristocracy, the very wealthy landed nobility, and then you had everyone else. And now everyone else, especially that third estate, that lower class in the French social status, who were tired and hangry because they didn't have enough food, and also oppressed because they were paying too much in taxes, start to join together to then overthrow and topple that traditional ruling class. But friendly reminder, while we love to focus on the French Revolution in AP European history, what other major political revolution happened like 150 years prior? Oh, that's right, the English Civil War. Something that I would love for you to focus on in this unit is to evaluate the extent to which the French Revolution was actually successful. Because early on, the National Assembly forced King Louis XVI to sign a constitution, which technically created a constitutional monarchy. But then, Robespierre comes on the scene and everyone gets beheaded. And if we look at the scope of the French Revolution, you have a monarch who then becomes a constitutional monarch, who then is beheaded, and then France descends into chaos. But then Napoleon seizes power and rules as first consul, but then he declares himself emperor and crowns himself emperor and then tries to take over all of Europe. And then after all of that, the French nobility are like, hey, what if we just reestablish the Bourbon monarchy? As you'll learn, there's a lot of political crises in this unit, and there's growing conflict between two emerging groups of people, the liberals who want change and conservatives who want to keep things the same. And quite literally, the French Revolution was inspired by the cultural and intellectual changes brought about by the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment. Those Enlightenment ideals, especially now that they have had time to simmer and sit in European society, lead to an increased focus on reason, which also leads to a fun reactionary response, because you also see the rise of Romanticism, which is a focus on emotion and not so much on the heady, logical, reason, empirical knowledge. And boy, that expression of emotions and feelings is absolutely felt in the rise of nationalism after Napoleon's attempted conquest of Europe. And lastly, economically, Britain is about to ascend and be the dominant leader in European politics and economics. Even though by the early 1800s, most of the colonies in the Americas had successfully fought for their independence, there is still a growing worldwide trade network. And states like Britain or like Portugal or like the Dutch who want to protect their trade network and keep profiting as much as they possibly can off of that trade network are going to get into some conflict in order to do that. This unit's so fun because it's about the French Revolution and all the chaos that ensues afterwards, so buckle up because it's gonna get wild. So follow along if you need more help, and definitely check out my ultimate review packet linked in the description below, because I have so many helpful resources for you, especially because there's just so much to cover in this unit. But as always, students, you can do it. I believe in you.